Good evening, darts fans, and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. I am the asset Paul Nicholson, and it is Saturday night. Saturday night is a very good night for flighting. So let's get cracking with it, shall we? Because over the last 5 days, we have had 95 matches over 7 sessions to find out who will play tonight for a chance to get themselves into the Stage 1 Champions Week. Tonight, it's a little bit different to some previous Saturday nights if you've been watching over the course of the last year and a bit, because only one person tonight can go through to the Champions Week in the middle of October. Things are changing here at Live League Darts. But let's have a little look at what's happened so far this week. Let's look first at Group A. As you can see, Dave Pallett with 20 points and a superior leg difference to Jelle Klaasen in second position. Saw him win the group, and it gifted him 2 days off on Thursday and Friday to rest up for tonight. You will see him in the first match of the night, and it is Jelle Klaasen and Robert Owen who graduated to Group B, but it was Osborne, Kay and Lee Cox who suffered the fate of going to Group C over the course of the last couple of morning sessions, which started at 9:30 a.m. As far as Group C is concerned, it was Osborne who dominated it. You can see with the 18 points that he accrued, he only lost one match that entire couple of days. A really strong showing, and Osborne may take some stopping tonight, but debutant Adam Atkinson came in on Thursday morning, started with a brilliant match. He had a personal best average for the week in that first match with a 170 checkout. And it was Tony Newell, Keelan Kay, Cox and Durrant of the Jamie variety who did not make it through to the Saturday night. But as far as Group B over the last couple of nights, that may have been the highlight of the week. Some great games and a really interesting table that went down to the very last match. Robert Owen dominated, did decelerate a little bit towards the end, but Jelle Klaasen found enough on Friday night, winning 8 points from a possible 8. Arron Monk getting in by one solitary win, and that leg difference did come into play in the end. Jamie Kelling was good at times, an improved showing from him, but unfortunately it was Nick Kenny and Jamie Kelling who did not make the finals. Let's go down to the hockey because we have a match waiting right now. David Pallett, the winner of Group A, is going to take on Adam Atkinson, the runner-up from Group C. And this is going to be our first match from Group 1. 6 players tonight. We are separating them into Group 1 and Group 2. So it will be Pallett, Atkinson and Jelle Klaasen in Group 1. Then it will be Robert Owen, Arron Monk and Colin Osborne in the other group. 2 games per player in the group. The top 2 players in the group progress to the semi-finals, where it is a knockout scenario. Make it to the final, and then you will play in the championship match for the week to get that spot in Champions Week in the middle of October. There will be a third place playoff tonight before the final, but those guys will be fresh in the knowledge that they will not make Champions Week.
David to throw first. Game on.
So let's talk about David Pallett. What a strong showing it was on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. But if you think that it was plain sailing,
56.
think again. He started with only 4 points on Monday. But after that, it was a brilliant showing of 8 points on Tuesday and 8 on Wednesday as well.
40.
25 maximum shots from Dave in 15 matches. That's a good ratio.
128.
A running average of 89.73. And I suppose when you think about the fact that he was so strong, it's surprising to know that he only had 1 ton plus checkout. But he did have the best leg of the week. Earlier in the week, in the very first leg of the day, he missed double 12 for a 9 darter and took the 10 with the very next dart, of course. And he comes into Saturday very fresh. The only player who has not played in tonight's session over the last couple of days.
140.
But you may have to look out for the likes of Atkinson and Arron Monk, because they've only played 2 days this week, compared to the likes of Klaassen and Osborne and Owen, who have played 5 days. They may have a little bit more practice in the bank, but they may be slightly more fatigued. We will watch out for that.
45. David, you've got 140.
Advantage Pallett in leg number 1. That's a great dart.
120.
And a very safe third dart as well. Didn't want to go anywhere near that treble 20. We'll talk more about Adam's week
59.
when we go to the next leg.
David, you've required 20.
It's entirely likely we'll be talking about that very soon.
Games on
Because
the
a
first
fresh
leg.
Dave
David
Pallett
Pallett
takes double 10 without any fuss. And that is on the throw in leg 1. So over to Adam to start leg 2.
Second leg is Adam to throw first.
Adam accrued 16 points in Group C, which was a very fine effort.
140.
8 points both days, running average of 85.82, 11 maximums, which is excellent, don't get me wrong,
100.
but it was made to look very ordinary by Colin Osborne getting 20 over the course of a couple of days. That was a simply ridiculous effort from Colin. But the one statistic that really stuck out for me, for the Poolie, as he's known, was that he got 7 ton-plus checkouts in the couple of days that he played in Group C. That was a fine, fine effort. And when you consider he had the same amount of ton-plus checkouts as a dominant Osborne in that group, he can mix it with the best, this guy. I don't think we've seen anywhere close to what he can do yet. He's a burgeoning talent. And his career is in its infancy.
94.
With a nickname like the Poolie, you probably have guessed that he is from the town of Hartlepool on the northeast coast. He's had a pal with him the last couple of days in Jamie Durrant. But Jamie was not able to qualify through the same group. In fact, Jamie finished on 4 points at the foot of the table, but he did have some good moments.
180.
A brilliant maximum from Dave Pallett. It is our first of the evening. It may not be our last.
135.
This is for a valuable break of throw
41.
in a somewhat truncated round-robin format tonight. Double top.
21.
Oh, nudge the wire.
Adam, you require 40.
And Adam has been quite fortunate to be given this chance at tops.
Game shot on the
which
second.
He finds with no bother.
Adam Atkinson.
That is a bit of a bullet dodger, that one. And Pallett is in full flow. He does not miss 2 darts at double, but he did on this occasion.
So like it's David to throw first.
Chance missed, but all is good. Still 1-1. He has the darts.
128.
And he has the darts by virtue of his league position this week. Being the winner of Group A gets you the darts in this first game. Adam being a runner-up from Group C means he's against the darts. There are countless advantages to winning a group, trust me. And that will be the case this evening.
140.
If you win your group tonight, you will have the darts in the semi-finals. It's a very warm welcome to all of our Sporty Stuff TV viewers this evening in the United Kingdom. Thank you for joining us for your Saturday late night entertainment. And to everybody tuning in around the world via our YouTube channel. But Pallett, who gets his second maximum here, is looking really good. Averaging so far well in excess of 100.
131, David. You're going 53.
You might want to get rid of this. Atkinson is waiting.
33.
Same result on tops and tens as the last leg. Atkinson took tops in 1 in the previous leg. And he has taken 90 out this week already. But not this way.
65.
I'm sure when he threw that,
David, you record 20.
He thought that had a chance. That one's in. And this time, it's Dave Pallett who is very, very grateful that his opponent has missed a shot at double. This is a very, very good game so far.
Fourth leg, it's Adam to throw first. $60.
If you are choosing to have a little flutter this evening, please be aware that it is for 18s and over only. Please gamble responsibly, and begambleaware.org is the website you require for more information. Plenty of markets for you, like most 180s. Total 180s in a game. The eventual winner of tonight, one of the favourites, Robert Owen. You could have got him at 72. But these players are uber focused right now, trying to make their way to the final 4. That's their first mission.
140.
And the best way to do that is to win your first game. You will ensure your berth in the semis if you win both of your group games.
$44.
Big effort from our production crew this week as we went back to Monday starts. 15 games on Monday, 15 games on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. A couple of double sessions on Thursday and Friday. Everybody's played their part. And I know the players are extremely grateful for everybody who has put this thing together this week and will do so for the next 11 weeks consecutively. And after that, we will have that Blockbuster Champions Week in October, which will be littered with
60.
winners.
And I'm here record 160.
Adam's biggest finish of the week, a 170, because he hit that to win his very first match here. In the words of my late friend Nigel Pearson, you couldn't have scripted that.
69. And I'm here record 100.
I have a feeling that not only is tonight going to be a good night, but I have a feeling that Adam Atkinson has to hit this. Double 10. Oh, that's superb.
Adam Atkinson.
That is the epitome of a quality, classy outshot. When your opponent is sitting, waiting on a double, and you take out that 3-darter. That says to your opponent, I will not submit.
100.
It's a steady average, just a shade over 90. But 2 doubles hit from 3 shots. And let's not forget that he did have a shot at the bull in leg number 3. If he'd hit that,
86.
he'd be 3-1 up. It's plausible that
100.
David doesn't know much about Adam. In fact, I'm only just starting to learn something about him. We know he's got talent. And there are many people in the northeast of England harping on about him, saying, yep, he's here to stay. And when my friends from the northeast are saying that, that says something. They don't say that lightly. And I'm sure that many of them are watching tonight, cheering Adam on. Many a player from the northeast of England has
29, David,
come here
61.
and had good days, good matches. Is Atkinson going to have the best of the lot?
65.
But if he is to start with a win tonight, he may have to do so by winning the last 2 legs of this contest.
$55. David, you record 96.
Sensible use of the bullseye in 25 section by Pallett to leave this 96.
87.
He won't enjoy the fact that he's left 9, but he wouldn't mind being 262 points ahead. Oh, it's good because he is.
58.
And he has plenty of time to dispose of this. Double 4. Back you go. It's one of those classic shots where the player thinks it's in and they have to reel themselves back in.
Game's on the 5th leg.
And there's the experience of Pallett coming through, because he bossed that leg. He thought it was over, and then it was over. It's 3-2.
Super leg, it's Adam to throw first.
If you're curious as to who is playing next week from Monday morning, I will announce that during the 3rd place playoff later on this evening.
140.
I'll give you the full lineup for Group A and the players who will take part in Group B and Group C to start next week.
93.
So much in the way of darts is happening over the course of the next month. Online Darts Live League will be here for you every single week through to the early winter.
54.
As darts goes down under next week, not just for the WDF and the PDC, we are still here too.
140.
It's really interesting to talk to the studio at Sporty Stuff TV around 8:30 this evening, around 2 hours ago.
28.
Both people in the studio are really eager to see who could contend tonight. This, for me, is one of the closest Saturday nights I've ever seen. But it's darts like that that could change things. That's the 3rd maximum in this game for Pallett, and Atkinson hasn't found one. They may be the difference.
44.
Pallett's had 11 darts at double. Atkinson's had 3. Double 10.
78.
And for the 2nd leg in succession, he splits a medium double to leave an odd number double, which could get a bit tricky if pressure is applied.
65.
The other person in this group is Jelle Klaasen. He's waiting to play Atkinson in game 3.
Game shot on the match.
He will play Klaassen in game 5 in the knowledge that he has already got 2 points in the bank in Group 1. 96 the average. The checkout percentage good enough at this stage, but he gave himself a lot of opportunities, and that's what Pallett does. Atkinson will need to win his next game. If he doesn't, it's going to be an early bath for the man called the Poolie. We're going to divert our attention to Group 2 now, and it's Robert Owen up against Arron Monk. This one's a bit fiery, so don't go far. Welcome back, everybody, and it's time to divert our attention to Group 2, with Pallett starting perfectly in Group 1. We're always going to be curious to see what Arron Monk can do, and he's up against Robert Owen in Match 1. This is a tricky tie for him. He is not donning his England shirt tonight. Maybe he thought it was a little bit unlucky, Arron Monk. But he was lucky to qualify. He did get through by beating Robert Owen in his final match yesterday and needed a bit of a favour from Jelle Klaasen to beat Nick Kenny, and it went his way.
Hey, first leg, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
So a second meeting within 24 hours between these two, and you would have to have Robert Owen as the favourite.
140.
Because in Group B, he was magnificent. 12 points, and at no point was he stressed about making Saturday night. He was comfortable. His overall stats for the week have been shining.
140.
23 matches, 14 wins, and whenever someone's winning around 60% or more of their matches, they're in pretty good shape. His running average of 92.29 for the week
60.
is by far and away the best of anybody here tonight. 26 maximums this week.
180.
And he's now 20 ahead of Arron for the week, albeit because he's played 3 extra days.
97.
Arron joined us on Thursday night, whereas Robert did not make it through Group A, but then bossed Group B, of course.
100. Robbie requires 64.
He's been terrific on his doubles.
48.
I just get the feeling that
Dart
dart number 2 there had a flight slightly in the way because of that somewhat individual style where he gets the dart to sit angled to the left and low.
80. Robert, you require 16.
That should be a beautiful guide. Needs to go the other side.
No score.
How has that not gone in?
Arron, you require 60.
What a freebie this is for Arron Monk. And it is to do it against the darts.
Game's on the first leg. Arron Monk.
That is a real pinch. It has to be said. Robert Owen at no point thought he was going to lose that first leg of the contest.
Second leg is
But it just goes to show, doesn't it? You can boss the scoring stakes, but if you don't hit the double, you can have your pocket picked.
84.
Robert won phase 2 here this year. And boy, was he good when he did that.
100.
Beating Dan Reed in that final. It may not have been the greatest of finals, but sometimes lively darts can be a test of endurance, especially on a Saturday night when you're emptying the tank. As for Arron's week,
100.
8 matches played, 4 wins, 50% win ratio, of course. Running average of 87.84, which is pretty good.
55.
His best average of the week so far was a losing average. That was his second game of Group C. Group B, I do beg your pardon. That was when he lost.
180.
Funnily enough, to Robert Owen. Match 2 of Thursday saw Robert put in the best individual game average of the entire week. 109.41. That's worked out pretty well.
37.
As Stack Attack, as he's known, is looking for the immediate break back.
93. Robert, you require 40.
He's been pretty reliable on tops and tens.
Game's on the second leg.
And as to how he does that, I haven't got a clue. I've been watching Robert Owen for years, And I still don't understand how he can find tops with that dart above it.
So it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
And I'm supposed to be a darts expert. I think it may have something to do with the flight in itself. He's trying to bounce it on top of one of the wings of the flight. And he believes that if he does that, it will nestle nicely over the top of one of the wings and into that bed. It's a style that I have not seen from any player.
125. 45.
Sometimes we do see the unconventional being the best. Remember Jim Furyk in golf? He was pretty useful, winning a US Open and a FedEx Cup.
100.
What about Philip Taylor? Our greatest ever. He was far from conventional.
180.
And that's far from average. Because Owen's got his second max. And now they're both averaging
57.
over 90. You sense he's finding his range all of a sudden.
140.
Because the 140 count's going up 2. And whenever you're under 100, after 12, that's good play.
Robbie Rock 196.
Great dart for double 18. Double 14.
82.
A little bit of a round the houses shot there. We've seen a few of those this week. And most players don't like double 7 because of the position it is in at the bottom left of the board. But Robert Owen will not be fazed by this shot, because if it goes below, he'll have a guide.
Game's on the third leg. Robert Owen.
Forget about what I just said. Look what he did. He went straight to the oche. He looked relaxed, and he just hit it straight away to take the lead at 2 legs to 1, as you can see.
It's Arron to throw first.
I think the biggest factor in this game, apart from Robert being the favourite form-wise,
134.
is that Arron must keep his emotions in check. At times in the last couple of nights, he has lost his composure. And I, for one, thought
100.
yesterday, during his second game, he was losing it. And he would not come through this group in Group B.
180.
But now that he's here, he's putting up a great fight.
$140.
This is a superb game. Can't call it from here.
55.
Not just yet. And you can sense at this point in some of these games that we haven't seen the most important moment yet.
$60. Arron Monk 132.
Doesn't have to go bull, but probably still will. That's worked out really well. It's questionable as to whether going bullseye on that 132 with Robert on 201 is the right play.
134.
It doesn't matter now.
What
What does is double top.
$20.
You don't need me to tell you how disappointed he is. He'll feel even worse if Owen hits top of the shop.
47.
And you can see how he feels about that. There's a lot on the line tonight because only one person can go to Champions Week. Not 3 anymore. It's more cutthroat than ever. Double 5.
10.
6 darts to win this leg.
Robert, you require 20.
And Owen can't believe he's coming back. The amount of times he's hit double 10 this week.
Game on the full flag.
It's been a gimme for
Robert
him.
Owen.
He has been the best double 10 hitter all week long. That's never been in question. It's now 3-1 to Owen because of the misses of Monk.
Free flag, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
This is where Arron is tested to the max. It should be 2-2. It isn't. Can he come back?
2-1.
His record of recovering from 2 legs down in Live League darts is atrocious. That can't be ignored. I think it's something in the region of 35 or 36 matches where he's been 2-0 down in a match and has only won one game from that position. So the one thing he has to work on for me is how he reacts to going behind
59.
in a game. And in that sense, Owen has got Arron Monk exactly where he wants him.
100.
The other person in this group is Colin Osborne.
100.
Had maybe the most dominant group performance this week. 18 points from a possible 20 in Group C.
100.
An amazing display on Friday of brilliant consistency. And Arron is going to have to beat him
Robert,
in his next match. Otherwise, he will be out before midnight. Double top.
Game
And
shot
Owen
on
wins
the
it
match.
with a ton plus
Robert
checkout.
Owen.
He was the better player. He did get a little bit fortunate to win the 4th leg, but once he got it, he got the job done pronto. So let's have a look at the stats. There it is, 82.71 for Monk, 94.52 for Owen. He's keeping his really good stats going for the week. 33% on the checkouts, and the high checkout of the match, the 120, came at the very end. We're going to go back to group number 1 now, and we're going to get our first look on Saturday night at Jelle Klaasen. He's going to take on Adam Atkinson. In this game, if Adam loses, he will be eliminated. That's coming up after the break. Hello folks and welcome back. It is going to be Group 1 action here in match number 3 of our finals night on Saturday. And this is the point of no return for Adam Atkinson of Hartlepool. If he loses this game, he will be eliminated. And it's a welcome to Saturday night for the very first time here at the Online Darts Live League for Jelle Klaasen.
It's Adam to throw first. Game on.
He has been here before trying to qualify for Saturday night, but this is his first visit to the final night of the week. Needless to say, this is his first meeting against Adam Atkinson as well. They were involved in different groups this week.
140.
In fact, they covered the spread. Klaassen in groups A and B, and Atkinson in group C.
96.
A rather tumultuous group A for Jelle. And you could say the same about his group B action as well.
96.
He went from bottom of the table in group B after the first night
140.
to finishing second because he had an undefeated night last night, which saw him really starting to hit some consistent
98.
stuff, including the final win of the night against Nick Kenny, which eliminated him. And if he eliminates Adam Atkinson here, we might have to stop calling him the Cobra.
Yeah, 167.
Might have to start calling him the Executioner.
94. And 126.
4 19s in bull for the first leg of this group game.
98. Yeah,
Nice position. But Klaassen can finish it on the bull.
48. And you're going 28.
He's got the darts in this game.
Adam
That's something
Atkinson.
he did not have against Dave Pallett in match 1. So far, so good. But he did have to dodge that missed ball from Klaassen.
Second leg, it's Jelle to throw first.
It's a strange position starting your match in game 2 in the group,
140.
because you do know that you have the luxury of losing this game if you are Jelle Klaasen,
76.
as long as you play extremely well in your last game. Whereas it's very different for Adam.
140.
He's playing his second game and he knows if he loses, he's gone. But that's the complexity of this night. That's why it's so exciting to watch.
60.
Strong start to leg 2 here for the man from Goa in the Netherlands.
100.
I really hope I said that right. I've been practicing my G's. Having said that, after calling 97 games this week,
100.
I should probably look after my throat.
46.
Adam might use the 19s from 265, a very popular route. All three leave 94.
171.
It's just tapping Jelle on the shoulder. Double top.
35.
This would be some conversion in either 5 or 6 darts. It'll be the 19s again. It's double 6. What a break this would be. I think he's just had a bit of a brain meltdown. It is double 6. Oh boy.
Second leg.
265 and 6. Klaassen was cruising when he was sitting on 75. But look what Atkinson's just done.
So look, it's Adam to throw first.
He's had some great darts this week, has this lad. The 27-year-old from Hartlepool. And he's proven to me that he's a talent. I'd heard of him
97.
before this week. I've had the pleasure of talking to him a couple of times. Seems lovely to me. But I don't think he's on Jelle Klaassen's Christmas card list right now with this 2-0 lead. Jelle's week, 23 games played, 15 wins.
78.
And let's compare that, shall we, to Robert Owen. Because a lot's been made of Robert Owen coming into
59.
tonight as one of the favourites. But Jelle Klaassen has won one more match than Owen this week. He's got a better win percentage by 5%. Albeit with a running average 4 less than Owen. And miraculously, in his live league career, he still hasn't had
162.
a ton plus average. Surely that's got to change sooner rather than later. He's just had a maximum on the 18s to leave 140 as he looks to find
40,
the Rob Cross
40,
302 and 6.
140.
Oh, he's only gone and done it as well.
Jelle Klaasen.
If you want to know what a 302 and 6 is, you've just seen it. Rob Cross did that to win the world title back in 2018 against Philip Taylor in the final. That's why it's called the Rob Cross 302.
136.
Yes, Jelle has had 43 matches in Live League Darts this year. His best effort, 97.66, which was last night, I have to add. But a person of his caliber,
85.
I think he would feel a bit miffed that he hasn't found a 3-figure average yet. And in fact, everybody who's involved here tonight, there are only 2 players who have yet to find that 3-figure average, and they're both playing in this game.
58.
Currently, Klaassen is averaging over 100.
84.
But I assure you, he would much rather average 82 and win than lose with 100 average.
180.
But he's turning up tonight. That's his first max. It doesn't feel like it, because he's already had 3 treble 18s in a visit.
44. Jelle record 42.
Double 16.
Game shot the
finds the corner
Jelle
of double 8.
Klaasen.
And if you wonder why I'm laughing, it's because last night he had a ridiculous amount of misses on that very double.
5th leg, it's Adam to throw first.
He's not showing his emotions, but I'm sure that he will remember the game he had.
60.
When he missed, I think it was around 11 darts at double 8.
140.
And lost the leg. I'm trying to remember which game it was. It was the game against Robert Owen. He was 3-2 up, sitting on double 8 after not very many darts.
90.
And he ended up missing 11 darts at double 16 and double 8 to win that match. And in the end, he took out 71 on double 8 just to get the points. One of, if not... In fact, no, it wasn't the weirdest game of the week. I'll talk about that in the next game, because that was Colin Osborne's.
100.
There was another player earlier this week who had
96.
never averaged over 100. And then on Monday, he went and averaged 109. That was Keelan Kay. So when you find it, you don't just get a little bit over the 100 mark. You tend to sail over it.
81.
A bit like Dalton Grant in the high jump. Well, he paid Adam the full respect there. He was going for the 60 for double 5 with 70 left. There was no laying up or any thought of it. And that may be simply because Adam has already hit a 170 this week.
43.
There you go, Adam. That's what Jelle thinks of you. He thinks you can do things like that.
50. Adam, you require 127.
Games have changed on finishes like this. Klaassen's already missed a couple of darts to break you.
$93.
He will get
10.
at least a couple more.
Game shot on the 5th.
Only needs the one,
Jelle
and that's the
Klaasen.
break he craved. He's now one leg away from eliminating Adam Atkinson, which would make the last game of this group a decider for the top.
Jelle to throw first.
And that would be Pallett Klaassen to see who wins Group 1 as opposed to
96.
seeing who's eliminated. It would be a pressure-less match instead of being pressure-filled.
$57.
Klaassen looking for good form before he heads to Australia next week to play in the Australian Darts Open in Echuca, which is right on the River Murray between the states of Victoria and New South Wales. A town that is very famous for water sports, like water skiing, canoeing, windsurfing.
180.
Jelle's not going to have time for stuff like that. He's got too much in the way of darts to do because he is the number 2 seed behind WDF World Champion Neil Duff.
100. Jelle require 167.
That's worked out really well after that suspect first start. And Adam may be in the car back to Hartlepool in the next couple of minutes after what can only be described as a very good
78.
debut.
Jelle require 42.
Can Klaassen break the ton barrier?
26.
No.
He
He needed to hit that for his biggest average here in his live league career to date. And Atkinson can't find that treble that he needed.
39. Jelle require 16.
He may be throwing in the towel. That double eight's giving him more problems.
No score.
And it's happening again.
Adam, you require 87.
How is Atkinson still in this match? He must find the bull. He's only gone and found it to keep himself very much alive. And it's 5 missed darts for the match. That corner of the board down near double 16 and double 8 has cost Klaassen so much this week.
Game on.
I mentioned Christmas card lists a little bit earlier in the evening.
85.
I hasten to say it. Double eight's not getting a Christmas card from this guy.
180.
So what does he do? He comes back to the hockey, gets his 4th maximum of the match, and takes it all out on the treble 20.
100. $134.
Hasn't really had much problem on the scoring phase actually this week. He's always been a really tidy scorer and explosive when he needs it to be.
96.
But when you need to break the throw in leg 7 just to win a match that you should have already won,
137.
look at what he's done. This is what world champions can do, you see. This is what mere mortals can't do after what they've been through in the previous leg.
120.
Fails to get his first maximum, which would have left tops. double 16 again. He perseveres and misses
No
it another
score.
2 times.
Adam, you require 95.
I am lost for words. That leaves 84, and if this goes, Klaassen may need a minute. Now he's got a choice here. Does he still go to double 16? Just a sign of how stubborn dart players are.
Game
He
shot on the
wouldn't
match.
stop going for that
Jelle
corner,
Klaasen.
and he has eventually eliminated Adam Atkinson. You can see that it's 97.89. Just checking the stats for the week, that is his best average of the week so far. And with 12 missed darts at double. 140 checkout after that 162 approach. That was a great performance, apart from his match darts. But in the knowledge that he is going to go through to the semi-finals with 1 match to spare against Dave Pallett, which will come after our next game, which is a Group 2 match between Colin Osborne and Arron Monk. Just like Atkinson, Monk must win, otherwise he is out the door. welcome back, darts fans. It is Saturday night. We've got about an hour to go before we hit the midnight hour. And it is Osborne making his first bow tonight as he takes on Arron Monk. And he's in the same position as Jelle Klaasen was in the previous game. If he wins, he eliminates his opponent. A very warm welcome back to the man in black and white this evening, who was magnificent in Group C this week, picking up 9 wins from 10.
Game on.
One of the nicest guys in the sport of darts, up against one of the more unpredictable. The man wearing British Racing green tonight.
45.
At the point of no return. And when you look at their records on Saturday nights here at Live League Darts over the last 18 months, since we came here, the thing that sticks out for me is that with all of Arron's talent and all of the good group stages he's had
140
during the week, when it comes to Saturday night, he has underachieved. He would admit that. He's only made one final on a Saturday night in 18 months.
$140.
When he made that final, he lost out to Kevin Burness. That was week 3 of phase 3 last year. So around about May, June time last year. That's a long time between drinks, as they say. But he started this one pretty buoyantly against a very dangerous opponent this evening.
100. Arron never going 40.
Looking for the ideal start on his throw.
Game shot on the first leg.
And
Arron
even
Monk.
when he hits it with the third dart, he doesn't look too happy. Smile, Arron, you've just won the first leg. That was a really well thrown third dart to take the lead.
Looks like it's Colin to throw first.
Something else that jumped off the page for me when looking into Colin's history here at the Live League over the last 18 months
50.
is that he's only been to the semi-finals on Saturday night twice. There is something really impressive to come, though. After making the semi-finals twice, he's only gone and won it on both occasions. So if he wins this game and guarantees himself
100.
a shot in the last 4, he's protecting a 100% hit rate of winning from the last 4.
100.
That's astonishing when you think about it. Back in phase 2 of last year, he beat Joe Davis in a final. He was in a really good vein of comeback form then.
140.
And then fast forward to 2022 in phase 1, week 4, where he beat Lisa Ashton in the final.
120.
And Ashton did have her chances in that game, but it was Osborne who took the weekly title.
$123.
I'll talk a little bit more about Colin's stats in the next leg because they are super impressive. Particularly one of them.
140. Colin, you're going at 88.
Someone's going to have to tell Arron Monk that you can't perfect this game and you can't expect everything every time. You've got to take things on the chin, Arron.
49.
He doesn't have to take a bullseye finish on the chin quite yet. He could take this leg against the darts.
92.
Don't
Colin,
bite
you're
your thumb,
39.
Arron. You need it to throw darts. Double 16 to level it up.
31.
He won't be pleased with that one,
Arron,
but
you're
he reacts very
20.
differently to missing than Arron does. The Mad Monk comes back. Double 5.
15. Colin, you require 8.
We're only 1.5 legs deep, and he's already got his head in his hands.
Game shot on the second
And he will
leg.
remain that way because
Colin
he has
Osborne.
lost that second leg. He shouldn't have lost it. He put himself in a lovely position with that 112 checkout potential, and from there he just couldn't find the outer ring.
It's Arron to throw first.
This is where Arron's biggest test is. He's lost a leg he should have won.
100.
You have to take it on the chin, you have to soak it up, and you have to move on. But Colin this week, 25 games played. He's played the most matches of anybody coming into Saturday night this week. Played Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 5 games per day.
66.
He won 64% of them. 16 wins and 9 losses. Running average of 87.47, which is very close to what he's done his whole live league career. Hasn't had a ton plus average this week, which is quite rare for Colin.
140.
But this is the one that sticks out. I know he's played the most matches, but 36 maximums from Osborne in 25 games. That's tremendous.
60.
His 180 likelihood, because we take stats on that as well, is only behind that of Dave Pallett,
101.
who hit 25 from 15 games. So his ratio of games or legs to 180s was slightly superior.
100.
But he would love the opportunity tonight, Aussie, to get over 40 maximums for the week. Different double, different result. So maybe that's what you've got to do, Arron. You've got to understand which doubles work and which don't. Maybe the bottom left corner will work for you the way it wasn't working for Klaassen earlier.
$46.
If Monk does win this game, we will have to look at leg difference potentially
99.
in the last game if Osborne was to beat Owen. We could have a situation where all 3 players are on 2 points. And if, for example, because it hasn't happened yet, but you never know, it might be tonight.
95.
If all 3 players are on 2 points, same leg difference, they've won the same amount of legs, we would have a 9 darts shootout with all 3 players. At some point, it will happen.
$140.
Don't ask me how that third dart went in. That may have been a little bit of wizardry. Get it? Yes, he's called the Wizard.
60.
I'm here all week. And the week's nearly over, so you're all right. Maybe I should have said I've been here all week, just like Colin.
49.
One lad from the northeast has already been sent packing. Adam Atkinson is already winging his way back to Hartlepool. Osborne will be hoping he's not leaving prematurely as well, but he still has one more game after this.
91. Arron, you record 150.
Pick your route. Stay there. Double 15.
120.
He will be very disappointed not to take that shot, but that was a very fine effort, Arron. It was a well-thrown dart, just didn't make it. Double 10.
60.
Now what does he do?
Arron, you require 30.
He's already missed 7 darts at double in this match. I think he's going to go straight for it. That's the pitfall. Double 4.
26.
Too many misses at the outer ring.
Colin, you require 20.
He could have been home and hosed by now. He could have won this 4-0. Got to go to the left.
No score.
He's had a nightmare on double 10 in this leg.
Arron, you require 4.
Arron will be hoping his dreams come true because look where that green arrow is. It's against Colin's name, which means this is for a break of throw. That was thrown too quickly.
2.
He's not setting himself at the top of his throw.
Colin, you require
He's throwing
20.
it just a little quick. Third time lucky at double 10.
Game's on the 4th leg.
And in legs like
Colin
that,
Osborne.
if you're sitting at the back of the room, you just know that dart 3 is going to go to make you feel really bad.
If like it's Arron to throw first.
We're down to best of 3. And if Osborne wins 2 of those, he will be through
100.
with a game to spare. And Group 1, like Group 2, or should I say it, like Group 1, Group 2 will be exactly the same. 2 games to come in the group phase, with all of the winners to play an extra game for position.
137.
It's very fair of me to say that Osborne at 77 as the average is surviving in this game, but he still somehow needs to find a break of throw somehow.
95.
I said somehow twice there because how do you break someone's throw with a 77 average? Well, it's easy. The 77 average is what has happened in this game, but it is no indication of what is to come. This is where amateur dart players really do fall down, in my opinion. They get hell-bent on averages,
60.
and they're concerned about what they have done so far. You should be more concerned about what you will do next.
84.
Monk has had a shot to win every leg so far. He'll have to go some to break Colin's record of missed darts at double in a match, which was set this week at 26.
Game's on the
That's
5th
more like
leg.
it.
Arron Monk.
When he's got the darts, he seems to hit the double with ease. But when it's against the darts, he seems to get lost. Let's find out what happens in leg 6.
Looks like it's Colin to throw first. $99.
Here's the bad news for Arron. If he wins this 4-2 or 4-3, and Osborne beats Owen, he's still out
100.
because of the leg difference. Owen beat Monk by 4 legs to 1 in the first game of this group, and that could be Arron's downfall, but only
85.
if Osborne beats Robert Owen. That is game 6 of the night.
87.
One of the things that Arron has done a lot over the last few years, in fact, is constantly change his equipment. Even when he was playing his best stuff.
81.
A really hot period last year where he was winning Group A campaigns in consecutive weeks. He still chooses to change his equipment year on year. And I don't think he should. In the last 18 months, Colin Osborne has changed one thing about his setup.
180.
One. he changed his flight. It's the same shape, it's the same colour, it just has a dimple pattern on it. That's it.
140.
Whereas Arron has changed every single aspect of his throw. The point, the barrel, the stem, the flight. Is it 3-3? It's his nemesis.
46.
So Monk gets a chance
Arron never 120.
to win by 4 legs to 2, and he may need to win this leg. Double top again.
Game shot and
Double
the
top
match.
comes up trumps.
Arron
He
Monk.
wins leg 5 on it, and he also wins leg 6 on it. So match number 6 is going to be very different to match 5 this evening, because Monk has won with a 92.75 average. Osborne not really at the races, but he still has a chance to make it through this group. We'll look at the permutations in Group 2 at the conclusion of a game in Game 5, where both players are already qualified. It's going to be Pallett against Klaassen in Game 5 after this. Hello and welcome back to Saturday Finals night here on Sporty Stuff TV. It is Live League Darts and I'm Paul the Asset Nicholson. Match number 5 will see Pallett against Klaassen. Both are already qualified for the semi-finals, but the winner of this game will top the group and play in the first semi-final of the night. They have no way of knowing who their opponent could be if they win the group. So this is just a warm-up for those semi-finals.
It feels like it's Jelle to throw first.
It's Klaassen who has the darts, and it's Klaassen who has a perfect record against Pallett this week. And when you consider
96.
that Klaassen, in a lot of people's book, has not played as good as Pallett this week, he's still got a very good record against him.
85. $42.
What I meant by perfect was that Jelle had won
60.
the first couple of meetings so far in the week on Monday and Tuesday. But maybe the most important game of the first 3 days was these guys playing the first game of Wednesday. They were both towards the top of the table, and the draw had them playing early instead of late, which made 9:30 AM a very important time on Wednesday. And after beating him 2 straight days, Klaassen will have thought, okay, I've got the measure of Pallett. So what did Dave do on Wednesday? He won by 4 legs to 0 and started a charge towards the top of the table that nobody could overtake.
134, yeah, 164.
Hello, Bullseye.
122. Maybe they were 124.
The one person who's been able to find that with regularity this week was Keelan Kay. Nobody else has been that good at it. Double 11.
Game on the
beautiful
first
finish
from
David Pallett. For a moment we thought it might be a bullseye attempt for him. He did re-grip before that third dart. He was not comfortable.
It's
A
David
nice showing of maturity there from Dave, who over the last couple of days has been getting a bit of fresh air. He's had a couple of rounds of golf.
140.
A very popular hobby for dart players because they spend a lot of time in rooms like this
50.
with other players in competitive environments. And the best way for them to get some exercise, get some fresh air, and to clear their head is either walking the dog, but obviously when they come here they can't bring their dog, or go out with 14 golf clubs and a couple of white balls. And that's what Dave's been doing.
84.
Hence why you might think he has got a slightly better tan than he did on Wednesday evening.
$85.
Safe to say that the sunbathing weather over in Australia next week for Jelle might be okay, but it is the middle of winter. First maximum of this game goes to Jelle Klaasen.
150.
But that's a 150 approach from Pallett. The more I watch him, the more I feel
59.
he is the favourite for tonight.
32.
Looks super comfortable.
Game on the second.
He is in a rich vein of
David
form.
Pallett.
He's got a 2-0 lead against the 2006 world champion right here. And the man who won the England Open very recently is looking very composed.
So it's Jelle to throw first.
And we're talking about 2 heavy event winners recently.
95.
Pallett, England Open, and a PDC Challenge Tour win recently as well. The Cobra winning that home championship, the Dutch Open, one of the biggest tournaments in the world.
134.
Is he bothered that his opponent didn't really turn up in the final in Mark Barilli? He doesn't care one jot. He was the one who lifted the trophy. We've already mentioned that Jelle Klaasen is making his first appearance here on Saturday night at the Live League. Dave Pallett made his first appearance back in week 3 of Phase 5 last year. That was a night that was won by Mark Webster. Pallett on that occasion did not get through to the semi-finals.
93.
But he did come back a little bit earlier this year. And he was back on a Saturday night in week 2 of Phase 2. On that occasion, he did make the semis, but came 4th. So gradual progression. And then in Phase 3 this year, he made Saturday night again.
58.
But again, failed to make the semi-finals.
$55. David Ivock 124.
Since then, he has made 3rd place in the previous phase. And he's looking for that number again. Same route.
130.
Different result this time.
68.
Double top.
48.
He went for the single 8 there to leave tops. He did not want to be looking at double 16. One dart left.
Game shown the
and it's as if
leg.
Jelle Klaasen had some sort of magic 8-ball there, because his head dipped, and as soon as it did, the double was hit.
4 flag, it's David to throw first.
Did Klaasen know that that was going to be hit? Is he a clairvoyant? Or am I just overthinking it?
125.
Yeah, Pallett did play in Phase 4, which was the precursor to the Champion of Champions week last week, which was won by Jim McEwen.
59.
And Pallett in week 2, on a night that was won by Conan Whitehead, did get 3rd position by beating Matt Dennant in the 3rd place playoff. That got him into Champions Week, but it didn't get him into the Saturday night of Champions Week, ultimately won by Josh Payne.
59.
Pallett's looking very healthy for this 4-0 win. But Klaassen knows that if he does lose this game, he's going to be involved in semi-final 2 against the winner of Group 2. So all is not lost.
134. Maybe 141.
He's averaged 87 in this game, but Pallett almost 100. He's not going to take the 141.
91.
And at this juncture, I just want to say a quick congratulations to Jim McEwen, who won last week's Champion of Champions.
57.
He won one of the senior events today in Shilbottle in Northumberland. Congratulations to Jim McEwen. Double top for Pallett.
Game shot on the match.
14 darter.
David Pallett.
98.56 the average. A very good performance. And 57% on the doubles. He missed his second 124 checkout on double 11. But ultimately, it was a pretty flawless display. And that will give him lots of confidence going into the semi-finals. He will be involved in the very first one. But who will he play in that semi-final? Let's find out after this short break, because everybody is still involved in Group 2. Around 23 hours ago, Arron Monk sat in his chair in the practice room thinking, I need a favour from a Welshman. He got one. And now he needs a favour from another one. This time it's Robert Owen. It's very simple. If Colin Osborne can win this match, he will make the semi-finals. But depending on the result, he could eliminate Robert Owen and keep Arron Monk in with a shot.
Okay, first I get Colin to throw first.
The 9 darts
Game on.
shootout possibility is gone, so we'll have to wait another week for that, potentially. I can't wait for that to happen. But here are the permutations. Any win for Rob Owen.
139.
He wins the group. And Arron Monk would come second. Aussie would be out on 0 points. If Osborne
60.
wins by 4 legs to 0, Colin will top the group and Arron would be second. That's the only scenario where Robert Owen would go out.
81.
So 1 leg in this match would see Robert Owen safe. What we'll do
140.
is not confuse you too much. We'll keep it at that and see how things materialise over the next few legs. If and when it becomes clear,
60.
we will communicate to you who's through and who isn't. But these guys were both involved in Group A this week.
60.
On some level, they will be feeling rather tired. But the good thing about Saturdays is that you get a lie in.
100.
And if you know how to pace yourself when it comes to your energy on a Saturday, you can feel very fresh for this. And they've both won on a Saturday night here before, so they know how to do it.
97. Colin, you've got 121.
He will go for the bull if he gets to 51, but he doesn't. That leaves 92. And he doesn't like the lie of that first dart. He may choose to go elsewhere.
54.
That's pretty smart.
Colin, you've got 144.
So Osborne will get a look at the 67 he chose to leave.
60. Colin, you've got 67.
For first blood. In a game he must win.
Game shown the
It's a
first
big well
leg.
done from me.
Colin Osborne.
That was a really intelligent dart before that visit to leave himself on 67 because he wanted to have a number under 70
Second is Robert to throw first. Game
so
on.
he could pick and choose which shot he wanted. Now, he is somebody who loves double top, but has had problems on it this week.
60.
Even with winning 9 matches from 10 in Group C, he still had a lot of darts missed at double. And that's maybe why he went the 17s route there instead of the treble 9.
28.
So we have to talk about one of his games this week while we can. It was the first game
60.
of Group C. Very simple. He was playing Tony Newell. First 3 legs. Absolutely unbelievable.
57.
Averaging in excess of 118. And we were all muttering, if he finds a 12 darter in that 4th leg, he will bring us a new live league average record in excess of 119. He was on 130 after 9 darts, and we all held our breath. He didn't take it.
180.
But he does find a maximum here to get himself a dart ahead for about 2 seconds.
100.
But to cut a long story short, Colin did set a record in that game, and it was an unwanted record of the most darts missed at double in a live league match, albeit a tied record with Scott Marsh of 26. 26 missed darts in that match. I believe 21 of them, possibly more, were for the match.
Colin, you're going 96.
To be at the halfway point. Does he go double-double? There's one.
56.
He fancied 76. It. This is for Robert Owen to make the semi-finals. He just needs one leg.
Game shown
he's
the
done
second
it.
leg.
I don't know whether he's aware of it. He may be, because he's usually very aware of his situation. But that now ensures that both Osborne and Monk can't qualify together, because Robert Owen is safe.
$100.
Robert's mission now is to win the group, because I sneakily suspect he won't want to dodge anybody. Don't get me wrong. But you don't want to play Dave Pallett right now, who for the night is averaging around 97.5. He's in very consistent form.
$180.
There's one of those splinter-like 180s. I still don't know how he gets his darts to land like that.
140.
But Osborne's going to have to play really fabulous from here to get the win, because Owen seems to be speeding up.
130.
And there's more evidence of it.
$44. Probably you're working with 42.
Well, that's missed the 2. That leaves 27. Double 8.
26.
He's the only person I know, as you can see from that camera, when he hits a single 11, he has to move for a double 8, because the flights are in the way. That camera angle is genius, because it gives you a full view of what he can see.
Game shot.
That's in.
Third leg.
And it's now 2-1. That's a very big break of throw in this match. Osborne was looking good at 1-0 up. He had a chance for 2-0, but now he's 2-1 down.
Probably gets Robert to throw first. Game on. $41.
Just recalculating everything, and I make Robert Owen safe in the #1 spot.
58.
He has dodged Pallett in the semis and will now take on Jelle Klaasen in semi-final 2.
41.
The only question left is, who does Dave Pallett play in semi-final 1?
85.
Osborne has to win 3 legs from a possible 4 to stay alive against a player who has made a habit
80.
of succeeding on a Saturday night. Let's just go through the last year since Robert Owen won
180.
week 1 of Phase 4 last year. We've just seen our second maximum from Osborne. And I'm going to pause here
133.
because I want to see what happens in leg 4. But everybody needs to know how good Robert Owen has been over the last 12 months. This is not an accident what he's doing here this evening. He's become a fixture here.
138. Colin, you've got 193.
Possibly to stay in this match. It's double 18.
Game shot.
That's more like it.
Colin
That's a little
Osborne.
bit of, what do you call it when you're up in the northeast towards the Middlesbrough region and you feel like you've got a bit of spirit? Oh yes, that's right.
It's Colin
It's
to
called
reverse.
Teesside Steel. Con by another great Middlesbrough player in Glen Durrant.
180.
These Teessiders are very hard to get rid of. Great players can do great things. And that leads me to what Owen has done the
100.
last year. Since he won week 1 of Phase 4 of 2021 against Nick Fulwell, he has made the Champions Week
80.
and he came 5th on the Saturday night that phase. In Phase 6, he won week 3 against Jose Justicia and came 2nd in the Champions Week to Matt Campbell.
140.
Then he won week 3 of Phase 1 this year and came 3rd on the Champions Week Saturday night. He was 2nd in week 2 of Phase 2
85.
and won the Champions Week. And then he was 5th in week 2
57.
of Phase 3.
Number 156.
And then he came back in the previous phase and won week 4. Sorry, week 1. He's made more appearances on a
140.
Saturday night here than the microphone in Owen Binks' hand.
$71. Colin, you've got 16.
For the lead. Can he find double 8?
Game shot.
Yeah, he went for the open bit at the top.
Colin Osborne.
And he takes the lead after being 2-1 down. He now is 1 leg away from making the semi-finals. It could well be hitting one more leg and staying on the board.
Game on.
Because as we've already told you, Rob Owen will play in the second semi-final. The runner-up of Group 1, which could be
100.
Osborne, will stay on the board for semi-final 1 against Pallett.
100.
Again, Arron Monk chews his fingernails. Last night, he had to watch as Nick Kenny faltered against Jelle
140.
Klaasen. He had 1 match dart. It was not far away, and it was to win by 4 legs to 2. Klaassen levelled it up at 3-3
80.
and was like a steamroller in the next leg. He did not look back.
$57.
Some of our dart players in tonight's finals have got a very
83.
big week coming up next week. They don't have tour cards, but they have been given invites to some PDC Pro Tour action next week in Barnsley. A chance for them to
140.
dip their bread in a very rich sauce to maybe come away with some very valuable dollars. Just because they don't have tour cards doesn't mean they can't make things like the Players' Championship finals at the end of the year in Minehead.
58. Robbie, you're going 64.
If Owen hits this in 6 darts, it's going to be a 1-leg shootout again for Arron Monk's survival.
44.
And it will be a leg that Osborne throws first in.
60. Robbie, you're going 20.
Over to you, Rob, to take us all the way. Flight's in the way. Massively. Even worse. He can't see anything of this bed. I'm going to say it right now. He can't hit this double. He may have 2% to hit.
No score.
Absolutely impossible shot.
Colin, you're going 120.
And this is to send Arron Monk out the door.
Game shot
And to
and the
stay in.
match.
And to
Colin
make the
Osborne.
semi-finals. He has done it with a Shanghai finish. Arron Monk does not survive this time. He's been hanging by a thread for the last 24 hours. But now, Osborne making the semi-finals is bad news for everybody. 89 averages both. Colin Osborne with the highest checkout again in his match and 50% on the doubles. But you know what Osborne does when he makes the last four? The records tell us he wins. Is that the case? He's going to have to go through Dave Pallett in the first semi-final. We're going to have a break of about 10 minutes from now just to get the matches all set up. Give the players a short break. We're going to take one too. When we come back, it will be Pallett against Osborne in semi-final 1. warm welcome back, and it is just after midnight now, so welcome to Sunday Morning Darts here live on Sporty Stuff TV, and this is where things get really interesting, because now with only one place in the Champions Week in October, it's now, if you win your semi-final, you will have a chance in the final, and if you lose, you will not be going to Champions Week. So over to you, Osborne and Pallett in semi number 1. Over the last year and a bit, if you lose in the semi-finals, you would get a second chance in the third place playoff.
David to throw first.
There are no more second chances at Live League Darts now. Things are more cutthroat. In order to make Champions Week, you must win your semi-final and your final.
56.
Osborne was telling me within the last 10 minutes that he was
96.
of the mindset that he had to beat Robert Owen by 4-0 to qualify. He had no idea that by winning the game by any result, he was going to be in the semis.
60.
So by that virtue, he was playing with a little bit of freedom.
$45.
He's got pretty much the best record against Robert Owen this week. He's beaten him 3 times and only lost once. And if you think about Owen
57.
in the form he's in, that's very impressive. But that's all forgotten now. Everything that's happened throughout the week has led to this.
99.
To these moments. We have played 101 matches now this week.
120.
3 of the final 4 matches will tell us an awful lot. They will tell us who plays the final and who qualifies for Champions Week by winning the final this week. The third place playoff is just for position to see who finishes 3rd and who finishes 4th.
$92.
But in Osborne's words in the last 5 minutes, there's a tournament to win now. A very different mindset to what he thought about 15 minutes ago.
105. David, you require 108.
Osborne has lost tonight to Arron Monk. Pallett has not lost tonight to incredibly steady displays. And I'm not paying enough credit to him there by saying steady.
Colin, you require 65.
He's won 8 legs and only lost 2. That's more than steady. 15 it is. Double 4 for the first leg against the Darts.
57. David, you require
Even at this
20.
early stage, I think that was a massive chance.
No score.
But he gets another one.
Colin, you require 8.
I didn't think he would. Two twos.
4.
And chances like this
20.
do not grow on trees. There have been some games this week where Osborne has really struggled on the outer ring. He can't have games like this for the rest of the evening.
Game shown
And
the
Pallett gets
first
over the
leg.
line.
David Pallett.
After having 5 misses at double 10, he just squeaks over the line. And just to illustrate what that first leg was like, he averaged 62 in
Colin
it.
to throw first.
I know it's only one leg, but I'm just trying to paint a picture for you. Earlier in the evening, he averaged 96 in beating Adam Atkinson by 4 legs to 2.
95.
And he was better against Klaassen in winning 4-0 with a 98.56. when you're winning legs like that,
57.
or should I rephrase and say, when you're not losing legs like that, you think it's going to be your night.
60.
They have played each other 3 times this week already, these two. Pallett won the first couple.
100.
4 legs to 3 and 4-0. But then Osborne did win on Wednesday. That was Dave's only defeat on Wednesday.
$135.
We're yet to register a 3-figure average tonight, and I am not surprised by that at all. There is an awful lot on the line.
140.
The prizes on offer in the Champions Week in October will be announced imminently. But in order to get your share of it, you've got to be there. That's what this is all about. It's a bit like the lottery, really. You can't get your share if you're not in the draw.
82.
Double top.
42. David, you require 112.
He hates that shot. He's had such mixed fortunes on double top so far this week, especially on combinations. Double top for Pallett.
92.
Throwing it low,
Well,
maybe a
40.
sign of a slightly tired arm, but of all the players coming into this evening, Pallett should be the freshest. 2 5s.
35.
Too many missed darts at double in this match already.
20.
You don't expect to win matches against calibers of players like this after missing 8 darts at double. But that's a miss. That's a hit.
On the second leg. David Pallett.
You walk back to the hockey and you think to yourself, well, I won the leg, but only just on double 7.
So look, it's David to throw first.
But look at the composure of this guy. In times gone by, he's been remarked as slightly wacky,
174.
unconventional, somewhat sideways thinking when it comes to finishing. He's always been classed as very smart.
96.
But in the last few months, I've never seen Pallett play so conventionally. What's happening here?
168.
Oh, David Pallett. He's the only person who would possibly leave a 159 after 6. I'm irate. And he should be as well. Because he knows fine well that the
59.
the 168 he hit, I think it was, to leave 159. I don't think I've ever seen that in my entire career. Someone leaving a 159 after 6.
85. David, you require 100.
Look on the bright side. He's on 100 after 9. He's on 40 after 10. And he's on nothing after 11.
Leg. David
Amazing leg. I don't think I'm ever going to forget that leg as long as I live.
Look, it's Colin to throw first.
I think if that had been an exhibition leg and he'd left the 159 after 6 and hit a 159 shot of 2 treble 20s and treble 13, if that had been on the internet, it would have gone viral in a way that maybe no darts thing has ever gone viral.
42.
It's the 9 darter that never was. Maybe one day we will find it. A bit like the 3 167s for the 9 darter. But David Pallett, you have a permanent place in my brain. after what you did in the previous leg.
140.
He is super close to eliminating
85.
Osborne. And he could be the first person to ever beat Colin Osborne in a semi-final on a Saturday night here at the Live League. His record is perfect.
57.
When he's made the last 4, he's won. And I mean the whole thing. Week 4, Phase 1 this year, made the semis and won.
34.
Week 2, Phase 2, beat Joe Davis. The other times he's made the Saturday night, he has failed to make the semis. Week 4, Phase 3, and some others.
140.
Second time in the match that Pallett's left a bogey number.
$100. Colin, you've got
And Osborne knows. After 8 missed darts at double in this match so far, he can't afford much more. That could be catastrophic.
17. Maybe the record 68.
The third dart maybe the towel thrown in. Double top for the final.
Game shot
Just
on
too
the
good.
match. David
It
Pallett.
was a scratchy first leg, and Dave Pallett, after that, just found his feet. 85.89. Osborne, maybe just because of what happened in the previous game where he thought he may have been eliminated, maybe just hit the wall, but ultimately 0 shots hit from 10 doubles he saw. That tells all of the story. But Pallett will have a shot at glory to win the first week of Stage 1. But who's he going to play? You'll find out after the next semi-final is played. It's going to be Robert Owen against Jelle Klaasen after the break. Evening again, darts fans, or should I say good morning, because it is the early hours of Sunday. But this game promises much, and it is the 6th meeting of these two this week. And it could be a tied head-to-head record after this, but this is a huge semi-final to see who plays David Pallett in the Week 1 final. We'll go through what they've done this week so far when we get underway. But this man from Goor in the Netherlands,
Okay, feels like it's Robert
against the 37-year-old from Ogmavale in South Wales, and they know more about each other than they ever have.
180.
Consider that a message sent by Robert Owen
58.
to the Dutch Open champion. Needless to say, Owen really wants this. He's made the Live League his home over the last year. He's had a lot of success on Saturday nights.
99.
He wants some more. He's having an Oliver Twist moment. And like I was talking about in Owen's previous game against Colin Osborne,
91.
in the last 12 months, Owen has won on a Saturday night
120.
5 times.
30.
Yes, you heard that right. 5 times he has won on a Saturday night. He's made a habit of it.
44.
And even when he hasn't won on a Saturday night, he's done really well when he's
89.
made it. Double 16.
57.
No chance for Klaassen. Just a free look at what he's got to do to break the throw of Owen
170.
to win this game. That is the tail of the tape. If he does not
32.
break him, he loses.
Game's
And
on
his
the
first chance
leg.
to break him has
Roberto.
gone. So, pressure now fully on the Netherlands guy. So over to you, Jelle. Can you respond?
Second leg, it's Jelle to throw first.
I'm still wrapping my head around that. 5 times
41.
he has won. Since he won Week 1 of Phase 4 last year, he's just had an incredible Live League career.
100.
And he's played a lot of games now. He's played more games than anybody
134.
else who's been a part of this week. This is his 3rd game of the night, which means
100.
this is his 381st game in his Live League career.
96.
He's got one of the top individual performances. He's had a great running average of 88.5.
180.
He's got a stack of those as well.
140.
The one thing he doesn't have is a 170 finish.
121.
So there's a challenge for you, Robert. If and when you leave one, hit one. Because that's something you don't have. But he does have a bullseye for a 1-2-1.
Roberto.
And that is a 2-0 lead. He's at it again.
Third leg, it's Robert to throw
The
first.
average is 103.66 for the first 2 legs.
Game on.
And he now has Klaassen exactly where he wants him. Averaging 103, and he's missed 3 dots at double.
140.
That tells you how well he's playing. And to give Jelle a lot of credit, this is his first Saturday night.
180.
He tried previously, he failed. This is progress. He's trending in the right direction, but he's up against one heavyweight
140.
player who knows how to do it at this time of the week.
125.
We held our breath for a second because Jelle with a 60 there would have left a shot for a 9-darter. Take note, Dave Pallett.
81. 60.
That was
Robbie,
a
140.
very wild deflection on dart 3 there of visit 3. How does he hit this 60?
43.
He doesn't.
Yellow 136. 58.
And Jelle can't leave
Robbie,
tops
197.
either. It's Owen's turn at the 57. Well, there's 7 of them. There's 54 more.
Game
And there's
on the
36
third
more
leg.
for a 3-0 lead.
Robert Owen.
We're starting to see the form horses come to the top. We saw Pallett win 4-0.
Public, it's Jelle to throw first.
It could be Robert Owen doing the same. And I mentioned we haven't seen a ton plus average all night. Owen
57.
is threatening one. Even though Jelle is shaking his head in the background, he has to admire that Owen is playing well.
140.
How did that point go through that tiny little gap?
$140.
He was on it again. The average climbs again.
130.
Owen is leading their head-to-head for the week 3-2. He beat him on Monday. He beat him on Wednesday. He beat him on Thursday. Jelle won the other 2 days.
70.
But it's all about this game, and this one's 70.
105. Robbie, we're going
That was to stay in the
81.
match. This could be the performance of the week.
56.
And that's a match start missed.
65.
Tops for Klaassen.
Game's on the fourth
And he
leg.
stays in with a
Jelle
shout.
Klaasen.
Things are possible when you just stay in there. 1 dart missed at the bull for the match. It's now 3-1.
Fifth leg, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
I can't get enough of this one. 4 maximums. And this is what happens when you know the pace of a game.
180.
When you play each other every day, which they have done this week.
85.
Robert obviously likes playing this pace. And what a bunch of battles they've
100.
given us this week. But you have to say this one's getting away from the Dutchman. Owen's scoring has been relentless.
65.
Even with a maximum, he couldn't leave a finish from 356.
100. Robbie, we're going 156.
He needs Robert to miss a lot of match darts, which, funnily enough, is something that Jelle did against Robert yesterday. In fact, he missed 14
73.
match darts against Robert, but ultimately found it on a 71 checkout for what was a very key 2 points in the end.
140. Robbie, we're going 83.
Could things still be turned around? It's unlikely. And it's now
Game shot on the
impossible
match.
because Owen
Robert
was
Owen.
just too good. The average is in excess of 104. The best performance of tonight by quite some distance, by around 6 points. Klaassen played well, as you can see, but he only got 1 shot at a double in the whole match, in averaging 98. That really was a fabulous contest. And your final in week 1 of stage 1 will be David Pallett against Robert Owen. What a final that could be. But we do have a third place playoff to come. That will be the next match. We will take about a 10-minute break now. But when we come back, we'll not only have that semi-final for you, but I will give you the lineup for next week's Stage 2 as well. So don't go far. Grab yourself a nighttime beverage, and we'll be back in a roughly 10 minutes. Hello and welcome back, and good morning to you all who have stayed up very late for this coverage on Sporty Stuff TV. I'm the Asset Paul Nicholson, and we have 2 matches left for you tonight, and it is going to be a third place playoff first and foremost before our final. This one is to see who finishes third in our first week of Stage 1. Unfortunately, both players know that they cannot qualify for Champions Week via this week, and there will be disappointment. But how do they respond with their final game
Looks like it's Jelle to throw
of the whole
first.
week?
Game on.
They've given everything they've got, and they fell 1 short of the championship game.
43.
And this is their 4th meeting of the week. They met 3 times in Group A earlier in the week. And if there is a little bit of good news for Klaassen, it's because he's beaten Osborne 3 times earlier in the week. 4-3 and 4-2 twice.
134.
This is a game that will send him on his way to Australia, because that's where he's headed next. And let me just wish Jelle all of the best
58.
in his quest to win the Australian Darts Open, which I'm sure if he can grab it after all of the competitive practice he's had this week, that would be some achievement. It would be a lot of ranking points for his WDF system ranking. And it would definitely give him confidence going into the later part of the year. He has respectfully worn a Kyle Anderson patch on his left sleeve all week, which I think is a classy touch as we approach the 1-year anniversary of losing our close friend.
95. 142.
Klaassen has the darts. And there was
71.
a bullseye shootout backstage to see who would start this game. And Klaassen won it. Does he win leg 1? It was this
73.
number
71.
that gave him a very valuable win yesterday.
31.
And he missed
Colin,
the treble 13 and the single 13 there. Because of that, he might lose the leg. That is mega awkward. And there's been too many of those this week for Osborne. He's had really hot spells this week, but that has really been his Achilles heel.
Game's on the first
Klaassen
leg.
takes the first leg, and deservedly so, really. He should have had a shot at double well before that, but he was let off the hook, and he takes a 1-0 lead.
Second leg, it's Colin to throw first.
Okay, drum roll please, because at this stage,
we
say that Colin Osborne has got a maximum. He's just totally interrupted my thought process there. But this is where I tell you who is playing next week. From Monday morning, live on Sporty Stuff TV, you will have Conan Whitehead, Jared Cole, the King of the Castle, Leung Kai Fan of Hong Kong,
96.
Mike Warburton of Wales, Rhys Robinson of Hull, and Scott Walters of Hampshire.
66.
That is your Group A lineup. As for Group B, which will have spots 2 and 3 from Group A, you will say hello to Paul Hogan and Chaz Barstow and Richard North. And then in Group C on Thursday and Friday during the day,
86.
it will be Dan Day, Matt Jackson, and Mike Gillett of Wales.
180.
So that's your lineup for next week. And it will be Chris Mason on commentary for you next week to call in all the shots.
29. 130.
For 2-0. 60 in bull required. There's the 60.
105.
Line was good on the bull shot, just underpitched. Went for the 420s and double 15 route. Just pulled it slightly to his left.
82. Jelle record 25.
He's going to persevere with this double 8. He might have done himself a favour there.
Jelle Klaasen.
Because over the course of the last few days, I've never seen anybody in the Live League miss double 8 more times on the outside than him.
So look at Jelle to throw first.
So if he is going to miss it, he'd much rather miss it on the inside in the single.
139.
This time last week, it was Graham Usher and Josh Payne playing the third, fourth place playoff.
43.
It was won by Usher, but they had to sit and watch as Jim McEwen and Connor Heenan played the Champion of Champions final. It's been a very successful week for Jim McEwen, hasn't it? Winning a World Seniors Tour event today, beating Colin McGarry.
93.
And bagging a big check 7 days ago here. We will see more of him over the coming weeks. That
60.
is a fact. Klaassen is speeding up. It suits him. Like I said earlier in the week, he does everything fast.
59.
I know how fast he drives. I've been in a car with him. It's pretty fast.
Game shot on the
Just
third
like this
leg.
game.
Jelle
14
Klaasen.
darter that takes Jelle's average over 92. It's looking pretty unassailable at this point. Is there anything left in the tank for Osborne?
Fourth leg, it's Colin to throw first.
When Colin came through his last group game to get himself into the semi-finals, he didn't have a long time to wait. It was only about 10 minutes. And he ended up losing by 4 legs to 0 to Dave Pallett. Maybe caught in a situation where he wasn't really ready for the semi-final.
83.
He thought he was eliminated. Maybe that's one of the reasons why you really should know what result you need.
34.
It's not going to be Aussie's week. It's not going to be Klaassen's week. It wasn't Adam Atkinson's week.
97.
And it wasn't Arron Monk's week. But it could still be Pallett's or Owen's.
59.
And just chatting to the backstage crew in the break there, we all said, based on form, things like averages, and what we think of all of the players, we think that maybe
95.
it's the correct final. Because those two are in a rich vein of form right now. Is the tank empty? Has he finally hit the wall after
54.
a bruising week of 29 games?
$39. Colin, you require 67.
I think he was going for the double 19 there to leave tops. That leaves 50. That doesn't.
47.
Does Klaassen finish the job?
78.
Double 12.
72.
2 dots for the match
Colin, you
missed.
require 20.
And if you've been with us all evening, you know that Osborne's had trouble on double 10. And it continues.
Game shot on the
But
fourth.
double 5 builds him out.
Colin Osborne.
He is still in that quest for the third position in this table. It's all for pride, of course, but third does sound better than fourth.
Fifth leg, it's Jelle to throw first. $57.
I think the biggest thing for Colin to take from this week was the Group C form. Anybody who wins 9 matches from 10 in a Group C campaign. Deserves respect. And if and when Klaassen does return to the Live League later this season, he'll be richer for the fact that from his first visit to his second visit, he has improved.
180.
Speaking of improving, Osborne's now got 2 maximums in this game and is starting to find more in the way of scoring. And just when we thought the game was over, with Klaassen on double 12 and double 6 to win it, 4 legs to 0, this one could be just beginning.
85. $77. Colin, you require 96.
This is where you would accept a 56. Or you could just hit it now. That's what he does. That's a great leg of darts. That is a 12 darter from Colin Osborne. I make that his best leg of the entire night.
Sixth leg, it's Colin to throw first. $134. $135.
Match number 105 will be next. A long week.
134.
A week that sees us play in every single day of the week because we are on Sunday now.
85.
But everybody who's worked on this project this week deserves a hat tip. The directors, the producers, the scorers, the referee, even myself,
180.
the players have all given everything they've got.
44.
Everybody who supports this project and makes it work deserves a lot of credit. And Osborne does too, because he was dead and buried at 3-0 down. And now it's 3-3.
Colin Osborne.
Klaassen may be shell-shocked a bit. It doesn't seem that long ago that he was sitting on double 12 for the match.
7 from 5
to win it by 4 legs to 0, and now he has to win a last leg decider.
40.
Who's your favourite from here? Bit of a coin flip if you ask me.
100.
The last thing
94.
Klaassen wants to do is leave this week with a game where he was 3-0 up and lost. Especially against an opponent
54.
in their head-to-head record this week where he is 3-0 up.
96.
If you think this doesn't mean anything to these guys, think again.
55.
Pride is a very big thing. Go 25 here.
129.
That's spectacular. Incredible counting. And great board management. And if you don't know why he did that from 271, just
50.
play it
again
and just figure out what he did.
84.
He just doesn't make counting errors. In fact, the only error he's made in this whole match is missing those 2 match darts in leg 4. But all will be good in the hood.
58.
If he clicks this.
48.
But that's now 4 match darts missed. He's missed 7 darts at double in this match. He just wants to get it done.
130.
It will have to be now. Double one.
No score.
Oh, boy.
Colin, your record is 63.
I have actually lost count of how many darts he's missed for the match. And he's missed the single. Klaassen thought he was going to have his pocket picked.
31. You'll leave record 10.
And the match is won.
Shot on the match.
So Klaassen keeps a
Jelle
perfect
Klaasen.
record against Colin Osborne this week. 2 PDC title winners in their careers have pitted their wits against each other, and Klaassen wins the battle for 3rd position. That is a personal best performance for him in a week, when hopefully sometime in the near future he will return to have another try. Osborne, a live league great, he falls at the final hurdle again, but hopefully we'll see him again as well. It is match number 105 when we come back after the break. It's all down to this. The winner of Pallett and Owen will go to Champions Week in October. That's after the break. Welcome to the final game of week 1, and these two have been mirroring each other in their careers for years. This one is probably the best final we could have hoped for this week. Pallett against Owen have been shadowing each other for seasons. But maybe over the course of 2022, they may be finding their feet towards a higher level. This is a final where only one person can go to Champions Week. In previous times they would both be there, but now it's stage 1 and the winner goes to Champions Week. The runner-up does not. The bullseye has been won by Dave Pallett.
Game on.
He's elected to throw first, of course. They've been sharing the same darts halls and venues for many seasons, like I've already said. But maybe the one thing that they have in common that most people know
60
is that in 2018, they both unexpectedly made the semi-finals of the UK Open in a very famous event where people were surrounded by snow. They lost to Corey Cadby and to Gary Anderson, and ultimately it was the great Scotsman
60
who won that UK Open. But to this day, those runs are their biggest paychecks in their career.
66
£17,500 they got that weekend. They worked extremely hard for it.
81.
But you can't ignore the fact that when you look at the live league, Robert Owen may be the strongest player
57
over the last year. He has some contenders going up against him now, the likes of Jim McHugh and Josh Payne, and some others are vying for
100.
his supremacy. And if there was a ranking system here, I'd be fascinated to see where Robert Owen would be. But I'm going to hang my hat on something when it comes to Pallett.
42.
I think he's having his best ever season. If you look at his bio in his career, he's won his 2 biggest tournaments of his career
100
this season. He's won in the WDF. He's won in the PDC Challenge Tour. And if he wins this week, that will be another notch on his belt. Double top.
Game shown the first leg.
For the kill for the first leg of this contest. And that bullseye won by Dave Pallett at the start of this contest in the practice room has already been extinguished.
Second leg, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
Robert's evening started with a 4-1 win against Arron Monk. Pretty routine stuff with a 94 average. He then lost
66
to Colin Osborne. He needed to get 1 leg from that match to make sure
140.
he was in the semi-finals. He got what he needed from that game. He then beat Jelle Klaasen by 4 legs to 1 in the semi-finals, and that's why he's here. As for Pallett, a 4-2 win against Atkinson in Game 1, which seems like a long time ago now.
98.
Then a 4-0 win against Klaassen, with his best average of the night so far, 98.56.
140.
And a routine 4-0 win over Osborne in the semis. But it has been some time since that game. He's been made to wait
96.
Something like an hour. Well, he is first to the finish in leg 2.
81.
That last dart really doesn't help Owen at all. Wow.
127.
He didn't go for it.
Robert, you've got 131.
Maybe he should have. Owen's hit this week.
91.
And he's angry he's missed it for two reasons.
140.
One, because he hasn't won the leg at that visit, and two, because Pallett didn't go for the 167.
Game on
And
the
Pallett
second
gets
leg.
away with it.
David Pallett.
Wow, there's been some strange goings on this evening. First, Pallett leaves 159 after 6 darts earlier on, and then that.
Third leg, it's David to throw first. Game on.
Bit of testosterone flinging in the final. I love it.
$56.
You're staying up for this final. Well done. I know the averages are in the 80s, but this is a good game. Purely
59.
because we know what they're capable of and we know what's on the line.
$41. $59.
Stack Attack has made himself a home here at the Live League the last couple of years. But if you look at his bio in his career,
42.
and I say this with all honesty and hope for his future,
59.
but has he won anything of note yet? Away from the Live League? I don't think he has. He's had some highlights.
100.
Quarterfinals of the Dutch Darts Masters in 2017. That European Tour run was, to some people, against the run of play. I saw it coming because his form in 2017 was brilliant.
140.
He's played in 37 Challenge Tour
39.
events. And in his Challenge Tour career, over the last couple of seasons,
136.
he's made 2 finals. They've both been this year. And for that reason, that's why he's going to the Pro Tour for the PDC next week as an alternate player. Someone who can get ranking cash without a tour card. What he has got now is a third consecutive break of throw in this final. And I am still none the wiser as to who's going to win it. But Owen is now the favourite once again.
Fourth leg, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
In Challenge Tour 1 this season, he made the final and made £1,000 in ranking money, where he lost to Scott Williams.
60.
Scott Williams still is at the top of the Challenge Tour Order of Merit. In Challenge Tour 13 in Germany, he lost in the final by 5 legs to 3 to the very gifted
98.
Dutch player Jurjen van der Velde.
$140.
Surely it's just a matter of time before he wins a Challenge Tour. But could he even go one further and win a Pro Tour event this week?
56.
It's something that Pallett could do as well. He's going to the Pro Tour next week in Barnsley. And with form like this, they're going to be
92.
nightmare draws for some of the seeds.
$60.
Dave Pallett currently stands at 4th in that challenge to our Order of Merit table. Still has a hope of winning that table to get to the World Championship.
100.
Better from Pallett.
180. Robbie Ricker 109.
Gets him in touch. Is it too late? It might not be.
61.
This is a bit of a break fest if this goes. Is he going bull?
67.
It's like he's gone into full Pallett mode.
48.
He's gone for the weird and wonderful ways. As Owen goes for tops.
8.
And narrowly misses.
David, you require 40.
For 2-2.
Game shot on the 4 flag.
That is now
David
4 breaks
Pallett.
of throw. My kingdom for a hold. That's exactly what Dave Pallett is thinking right now. If he gets it, he'll remain favourite for this
David
match.
to throw first.
I was going to say firm favourite, then I went with favourite, and I said something in between.
92.
Robert Owen is sitting at 7th in the challenge to a table. Currently £3,300 behind Scott Williams.
100.
There are plenty of events left. Mega packed seasons ahead of them. And what they want to do
140.
right now is book their accommodation for October. Maybe not right now, but in the morning.
83.
To be in the knowledge that they will be back in October would be a fabulous thing.
$130.
I just wish both of them were going to Champions Week. They've been fabulous this week. Both of them.
60. David, you reckon 139.
But this one is starting to get away from Owen just a little bit. And I think he knows that maybe he might need to find 2 straight legs to win it.
59.
Before this evening, Owen was 7-2 to win tonight.
Pallett
was the favourite.
David, you require 80.
But maybe I've underestimated this 5th leg. Double top. It's the first hold of throw, and that might be one of the best starts of the entire week because he had a big, fat yellow flight in the way, and he didn't even flick it.
Sig flick, it's Robert to throw first.
If he has exchanged his kingdom for a hold, if he's got anything left to exchange, he'd love a break now just to get it done by 4 legs to 2. But maybe this week could be destined for a 1-leg shootout.
140.
What a thrilling week it's been.
140.
The averages do not reflect how good this game has been at all. The doubles have been decent. 60% Pallett, 33% Owen. But he's only had 6 shots.
100.
There were a couple in there that were quite costly. But he's trying to make up for it.
140.
The only way he knows how. And that's currently with 5 140-plus scores. Pallett's got 4. 1 maximum each.
100.
They are so level, scoring-wise, in this game. It's been won and lost on the outer ring. Double 14.
93.
And this will be some way to finish the week.
David, you require 161.
Not this time.
89.
To take us all the way then. That's where we're going. One leg shootout to see who goes to Champions Week in October. You really couldn't have scripted this. What a last two matches we are having.
7th and final leg, it's David to throw first.
And after 4 breaks of throw in this final, we've just had 2 holds. 501 points in as few darts as 56. You could possibly do to punch your ticket to a blockbuster Champions Week in the 10th month of the year.
140.
This is where you find out what your form really is like. Because to win titles,
56.
you have to win legs like this. Owen is finding that treble 20. This is already Dave Pallett's best Saturday night here at the Live League in his career. Could it be a miraculous 6th win on finals night for Robert Owen? Or will it be Dave Pallett's first?
$97.
Pallett will get first look. His best effort was in the previous phase, where he was 3rd
100.
in week 2.
David, you require 152.
That one's a bit too safe. And all he can do now is wait.
Robert, you require 117.
It's a bad first start.
115.
And all Robert can do is leave double 1. Pallett can leave whatever he wants to win his first weekly title here at the Online Darts Live League.
32.
What more can you say?
Robert, you require 2.
Because when you do this as a dart player, all you can say is, I left it. And somehow he hits it. For a 6th weekly win, Robert Owen is probably now going to be called the King of the Live League. He's won more titles on a Saturday night in the last year than anybody else. It was a fabulous final. It may not have been at the standard that they've been delivering throughout the course of the week, but boy, was that dramatic. Unfortunately for Pallett, he did miss 2 match darts in that last leg with the throw, but the man who left the madhouse is the man who leaves King of the House. So, that's the end of week 1 here in stage 1 at the Online Darts Live League. It's been my privilege to bring you all of the 105 games that we've had. Everybody here at the Live League wishes you a wonderful Sunday wherever you are in the world. If you are watching on Sporty Stuff TV here in the UK, have a pleasant evening if you are staying up anymore, and have a nice lie-in on Sunday. Why don't you? I think I'm going to do that as well. So, for the last time this week, we will see you on Monday, by the way. Chris Mason will be here. So for the last time this week, this is The Asset, signing out for now. Take care, everyone, and good night.